Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. So today I thought I would share some quick recipes that you can either make for meals or meal prep. I feel like sometimes with meal prep and dinners, we tend to overcomplicate things, myself included. And so I just wanted to share some quick ideas, some things that I whipped up for dinner and meal prep this weekend. All of these recipes just happen to be low carb friendly as well. So the first thing that I'm going to make is a breakfast casserole, and I made this before a while back. It's really good and really great for meal prep. I'm also going to prep some jalapeno poppers. These can be done ahead of time on the weekend, and then you can cook them during the week. I'm also going to share a quick dinner that I made, which is a steak and blue cheese salad on the side. I am also sharing some keto brownies, which can be dressed up for dessert and of course made ahead of time. And then last but not least, some tuna salad wraps. I haven't made this in a long time and it really hit the spot. I'm also really excited to share that today's video is in collaboration with Erika over at the YouTube channel Time to Shrink. She has been a longtime YouTube friend of mine. She is so positive and encouraging, and she has great content on her channel, especially if you are looking for content that is cooking related and keto or low carb. That is one of the most common requests that I get here on my channel is for keto and low carb recipes. So if you're looking for that, go ahead and head over to Erika's channel. She is also making some delicious recipes today, so I'll have her channel and her video linked in the description box below. She also has a cookbook available called My Southern Keto Kitchen. It is an ebook, and she gave my viewers a discount. So you can go to mysouthernketokitchen.com and use code Chapin 2021 to get 25% off. So again, I'll leave that code and the link in the description box below. So please go check out Erika. She is so positive and inspiring, and I know that you'll love her content. Okay, so the first recipe I'm sharing is actually a recipe I am making for meal prep, and it comes out of the Keto Made Easy cookbook, which if you're familiar with the Keto Connect YouTube channel is the same creators. So I'll link that cookbook down below. I found actually a lot of great recipes in there. And just to clarify, I do not personally eat keto or low carb, but I do incorporate these recipes into my diet and my cooking because I find that overall they have less sugar, and that's what I'm focusing on it right now. So this is a sausage breakfast casserole, but the original thing about this is that you use ground pork and then season it yourself to make kind of your own breakfast sausage. It turns out really good, and when I make this, I like to cut it up and put it into the refrigerator, and then I have a quick breakfast during the week that I can warm up. So I'm adding some seasonings to my ground pork. I added some salt and pepper, some marjoram, some sage. I added some red pepper flakes, and then I'm also going to add some chopped green onion. You can basically flavor this with anything that you want. Just season it to your taste, and then obviously you can make it as spicy or as less spicy as you want. I'm using my Pampered Chef meat chopper, which is one of my favorite tools when I cook with ground meat. And when that is done cooking, I'm going to remove it to a plate that I have lined with a paper towel, just so I can get any of the excess grease off the pork because I don't want my finished casserole to be too greasy. So now I'm going to start on the egg portion of the casserole. So for this, you will need 8 eggs, and I'm just going to crack these into a large bowl with a spout. That will make it easier to pour into my casserole dish. The original recipe calls for Gruyere cheese, but I didn't have any of that on hand, so I'm going to end up using cheddar cheese. You can use any type of cheese that you want for this. It's very versatile. You can also add in veggies if you want. I tend to like to keep mine simple with just sausage and cheese, but that is totally up to you. So once all the eggs are cracked into the bowl, I'm just going to give those a whisk. And then the recipe calls for heavy cream, but I didn't have any of that on hand, so I just used whole milk. A lot of times when I'm making keto recipes, if I'm not obviously doing keto and I'm super concerned about the carbs, I do use milk instead of heavy whipping cream, and it normally turns out fine. I season my eggs with salt and pepper, and then I am adding some of this Tillamook medium shredded cheddar cheese. This is one of my favorite brands of cheddar cheese that's shredded because it comes in really thick shreds, and I actually have to order it from Imperfect Foods because I cannot get it around here. So I greased my casserole dish. This is a round casserole dish, and I'm sorry I don't have a link to it because it was a gift. So I put the sausage in the bottom of there and then poured the egg and cheese mixture over the top. The recipe says you can add more cheese to the top, but I thought it looked cheesy enough, so I just went ahead and left it. So I'm going to put this into the oven. This bakes at 350 degrees for about 35 minutes, just until it is set and cooked through. And here is what it looks like. I love cooking it in the round dish because it kind of looks like a pie, sort of, and it looks really pretty when you cut it and serve it on the plate. But this is what Adam and I will be having for breakfast meal prep this week. Okay, so next up is a really simple and quick side dish that you can prepare and prep ahead of time. So these are cream cheese stuffed jalapeno poppers, and I really don't have a recipe for this because there really is no recipe. It is super simple. You just take jalapenos, wash them. I split them down the center with a knife, and then I use a spoon to scoop out the seeds and the ribs. If you leave the ribs in, they will be a little spicier. But obviously the spice level kind of depends on the spice level of each individual jalapeno. So sometimes you get some that are super spicy and some not so spicy. But what I'm doing is just spreading some plain cream cheese into the middle of these, and then we're going to wrap them in bacon. So that is all. I know, super simple. I was like hesitant to share this, but sometimes I think, like I said, we tend to overcomplicate things. This is a great side dish that you can use for dinner during the week, or you can also make this up for a lunch ahead of time too. So I have some thick cut bacon here, and since these jalapenos were so large, I ended up using one piece of bacon per jalapeno popper. This is actually thick cut bacon, so these will take a little bit longer to cook, but you do want to make sure that the bacon is long enough to wrap around the whole jalapeno, and also take into account that the bacon will normally shrink as it cooks in the oven too, so you definitely want it to be long enough. So I'm going to just finish wrapping these in the bacon, and I'm putting them in a 9x13 casserole dish that I just greased on the bottom with a little bit of cooking spray. And then these can be popped right in the refrigerator, and I would say they would keep in the fridge for probably, I don't know, 3 to 4 days. And then all you have to do is take them out of the fridge. And when you want to bake them at 425 for about 20 to 30 minutes until the bacon is as crispy as you like it. And they are a great low carb treat. Okay, so next up, I'm sharing steak and a blue cheese salad. This was a super simple and quick dinner to put together, and it was delicious. So I have 2 ribeye steaks here that I thawed out of the freezer, and I'm using this Uncle Chris's gourmet steak seasoning, which I believe Jenny sent me. So thank you, Jenny. It's been my favorite steak seasoning so far. So I'm just seasoning those steaks generously on either side, and I normally like to season them a little bit ahead of time and then just let them sit out on the counter for about half an hour or so to make sure that the seasoning has enough time to penetrate the meat a little bit. I have a skillet here. This is an oven safe skillet because I am going to finish these in a warm oven. So I have some avocado oil in my pan that I heated up, and I'm just going to take the ribeyes once they are crispy on one side and flip them over to the other. And then I'm putting these into a 250 degree oven, and then you can just leave them in there until they are done to your likeness. Obviously, steak is very individual. It's going to depend on how well done or how not well done you want it. But while those are resting, I'm going to make the dressing for the salad. So I am making this with some whole milk yogurt. This was actually a recipe that I got out of my newest meal prep cookbook that I got from America's Test Kitchen. I didn't actually prefer this blue cheese recipe. I've tried a lot of different blue cheese dressing recipes, and this one called for whole milk yogurt. I did actually end up adding a little bit bit of mayo to this because the yogurt to me was just too tangy. But you could use yogurt, you could use sour cream, you can use mayo. The main principle is that you just need something creamy in there. So 3/4 of a cup of yogurt, 2/3 of a cup of crumbled blue cheese. I added some salt and some pepper and also a little bit of red wine vinegar. I also added some garlic paste, or you could use minced garlic or even garlic powder in a pinch. And I also added some Worcestershire sauce to this just because I felt like it needed a little bit more flavor. So I mixed that up and tasted it, and it was good. I let it chill in the fridge until I was done making the salad. So these are just some romaine lettuce leaves, and I'm just going to chop these up into small pieces, and I'm just making individual salads on the plates tonight. My husband doesn't really care for blue cheese, so I ended up using ranch dressing on his, but this is a super simple and filling supper, and you don't need anything else. It's just steak and salad, right? We had this for dinner one night, and it was really good. Definitely low carb and super satisfying. So I added some tomatoes to my salad, and then I'm going to drizzle some of that blue cheese dressing over the top. And then the recipe did call to cook some bacon, but I wasn't going to deal with that because I was just going for quickness on this night. So I used some bacon bits that I had in the refrigerator. And then I did chop up some fresh chives and sprinkle that on top of the salad just to make it look prettier and to give it that onion flavor. But here is what dinner looked like. So we have that ribeye steak. Mine was cooked about medium, which is exactly how I like it. And I did have a little bit of A1 with this, but the combination of the steak with the blue cheese salad was really delicious. And I would encourage you to recreate something like this for yourself. Put it on your meal plan for this week. Very simple and delicious. Okay, so next up, I'm going to share a Foodsters Keto Brownie mix, and this is one that I ordered, I believe, through Thrive Market, and I've been enjoying trying out the different types of keto baking mixes that they have now. I told you guys in a different video that I did low carb back in the late 90s, and the amount of products that were available was just so little. I just can't believe how many things that there are available now for people trying to watch their carbs and their sugar. So once Connor saw that I was making brownies, he definitely wanted to help me out. So we are using some eggs, and I had some melted butter in the bowl, and he's just whisking that up. He actually does a really good job with cracking eggs, so that's fantastic. And then once that is mixed together, he's going to pour in the brownie mix. Like I said, this is super simple. I think another good thing to do with this too would be to make it in a mini muffin tin. But some of the ways that you can use these brownies is, one thing I like to do is actually buy like the Rebel or the Halo Top low sugar ice cream. And then you can have a warm brownie with low carb ice cream on top. It's really, really good. Another thing I like to do with these is to top them with whipped cream and berries. That's really good too. You can buy low sugar whipped cream, or you can make your own. And of course, Connor wanted to add some chocolate chips to this. He added a little bit too many, but I was just like, oh, just leave it. They'll be extra chocolatey. I'm not exactly sure what type of chocolate chips these were. You can use Lily's chocolate chips. I think these were just plain semi-sweet chocolate chips, but that's fine. So we have an 8x8 dish here that I greased with cooking spray, and he's just going to help me get that batter out into the pan. He was very excited to make these brownies because he just showed me some on TikTok that he thought we needed to make. So hopefully these live up. But I'm using a spatula to kind of push this batter down into the pan. It doesn't necessarily spread out like traditional brownies, but every one of these mixes I have tried has honestly been delicious, and my kids eat it with no issue, even though it's not regular brownies. All right, so here is the finished product. We did sprinkle a few more chocolate chips on top, but these turned out so good. We had them with whipped cream and some raspberries. Okay, so next up is some tuna salad wraps, and I have not made tuna salad in such a long time and I've been craving it, so I decided to share it with you in this video. It's something that you can meal prep and it makes a super quick lunch or even dinner, and even if you're not trying to watch your carbs, you can totally have this on bread or crackers. You can make a wrap out of it. There's just so many different things that you can do, and tuna is one of those proteins that is low in fat, obviously very high in protein, and it's very filling. So I have some tuna in my bowl here, 2 of the larger sized cans of that I drained in the sink and then just transferred them to the bowl. So I chopped up some dill pickles. You can either use that or you can use relish, and then I'm also adding in some lemon juice. This is totally to taste, so I didn't measure. You can season it to your liking. I added a couple spoonfuls of the Primal Kitchen avocado mayo, and then I'm just going to stir that up. You could also use sweet pickle relish if you wanted to in this. You could chop up some celery and put it in there. Obviously, the options are endless, but I just like to keep mine pretty simple. So here is how I serve this. It's just in some romaine lettuce leaf boats. And like I said, this is so good, super quick when you need a really quick and filling lunch during the week. It definitely hits the spot. So thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I hope that you got some ideas for your own recipes or meal prep. Don't forget to check out Erika's channel, Time to Shrink. I'll have it linked in the description box below. And then also make sure that you check out her ebook, her cookbook, My Southern Keto Kitchen. I'll have a coupon code so you can save 25% if you'd like to purchase it and support her. I do have the cookbook and it has a ton of great recipes in it. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.